When you decide to honor your true worth, you trigger a chain reaction of transformation in every corner of your life. In a world that can sometimes feel harsh or unkind, the greatest act of courage is to stand up and say, "I will not be treated like I'm worthless anymore." That declaration is your first step in reclaiming the power that's always lived within you. Today, we're diving into exactly why you deserve to be respected, cherished, and valued, and how you can hold yourself in a space of unwavering dignity. Too often, we find ourselves quietly accepting the negative commentary or dismissive behavior of others, almost as though it's a normal part of our everyday lives. We let subtle remarks slide. We tolerate disregard for our feelings. And before we know it, we're left wondering if maybe, just maybe, we've been wrong about ourselves, if perhaps we truly don't deserve the kindness and compassion that we crave. But I'm here to tell you, there's a beautiful truth waiting on the other side of those doubts. You are infinitely worthy just as you are. In these moments of uncertainty, it's easy to forget that how we see ourselves influences the way others see us. If we believe deep down that we don't matter, we unconsciously project that belief in our words, our actions, and even our posture. People pick up on that energy, and some may even treat us in ways that reinforce our lower sense of self. But there's a far more hopeful reality to embrace. The moment you begin to rewrite the story you tell yourself, by affirming your worth instead of questioning it, something miraculous happens. Your relationships begin to shift. Your environment begins to feel more supportive. It's as though you signal to the universe, "I am ready for better. I am no longer willing to settle for less." Today, we will explore what it means to truly believe you deserve more than crumbs of attention or scraps of kindness. We'll unravel why some of us have fallen into the habit of accepting poor treatment, and we'll discover how to heal those old wounds that keep us stuck. From practicing affirmations that remind us of our inherent goodness to implementing concrete boundary-setting techniques, you'll learn ways to transform your reality from the inside out. Think of this as an invitation, a call to stand firmly in your truth and refuse anything less than mutual respect and genuine care. The journey toward recognizing your own worth is not always easy, but it is richly rewarding. Each time you choose to love yourself a little deeper, each time you speak kindly to your heart, you reinforce a foundation that no external judgment can shake. Let this be the moment you reclaim your rightful place as a valued, respected being in your relationships, your workplace, and your everyday life. After all, when you stand up for your worth, you're not just changing how people treat you, you're changing the very narrative of your life. Many of us underestimate just how influential our perception of ourselves can be. If you've ever caught yourself thinking, "I guess I just don't matter," or "I'm not worthy enough," you've already seen the hidden power of self-perception at work. These quiet beliefs form the lens through which we interpret every interaction. They shape the tone of our internal dialogue, and ultimately, they affect what we allow and attract into our lives. There's a reason why new social media trends, like daily affirmation reels or journaling prompts, are taking the world by storm. People are realizing that a simple shift in perspective has the power to change the entire course of your day. Spending just a few moments each morning writing down statements like, "I am worthy of respect," or "My presence is valuable," can anchor you in a positive mindset before you even leave the house. This might sound simplistic, Yet there is true power in it. Once you start your day feeling that sense of worthiness, it's far less likely you'll settle for toxic behavior from anyone. This is not about ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. Rather, it's about consciously choosing thoughts that support your well-being. Think of your mind as a garden. If you're not careful, the weeds of self-doubt can take over, suffocating the flowers of confidence and joy. By deliberately planting seeds of self-acceptance and optimism, you allow your internal garden to thrive. And when that happens, you'll notice something extraordinary. People begin treating you differently. There's a gentle yet unmistakable shift in how others speak to you, how they respond to your needs, and even how they perceive your presence in a room. That's the hidden power of self-perception. It doesn't forcefully demand love or respect. It naturally invites it. When you're convinced of your own worth, you radiate a sense of calm confidence. People sense they cannot simply walk over your feelings because you hold your ground with grace and clarity. In essence, you teach others how to treat you through the way you treat yourself. Of course, this doesn't mean you'll never again experience rejection or disrespect. Life continues to present challenges, but you'll notice you're far less likely to interpret those moments as reflections of your personal value. Instead, you see them as signals, signs that someone else might be projecting their own pain or unresolved issues. And from that space, you can lovingly but firmly decide what you're willing to tolerate. Self-perception is, in many ways, the root. When that root is nourished with healthy self-talk and consistent reminders of your goodness, everything above the surface transforms. If you're new to this idea, start small. Write a few kind statements on sticky notes and place them where you'll see them each day. Practice looking yourself in the mirror and saying, "I choose to see myself with loving eyes." Though it might feel awkward at first, with patience and repetition, you'll find it remarkably healing. After all, how we see ourselves often teaches the world how to see us, and it's time we let the world see the truth of our undeniable worth. It's important to understand why we sometimes permit others to treat us as though we're invisible. Often it's not because we enjoy disrespect or humiliation, but rather because deep emotional wounds from our past lead us to believe we deserve no better. Perhaps somewhere along the way, someone important, like a parent, caretaker, teacher, or partner, convinced us, explicitly or subtly, that our feelings didn't matter. Those words or actions lodged themselves in our subconscious, and we carried them forward, playing out scenarios that confirm what we mistakenly learned about ourselves. Healing these hidden wounds is crucial, and it's a tender process. One helpful technique is a type of mirror work. Find a quiet place, stand in front of a mirror, and gently look into your own eyes. Speak softly, saying something like, "I acknowledge the pain you've carried. I see the bruises on your heart, and I'm here to help you heal." Initially, you might feel silly or even tearful doing this, but persist, because you're addressing parts of yourself that have felt ignored and unloved for far too long. By acknowledging them, you're sending the message, "I'm ready to care for you now." Many people also find journaling to be deeply liberating. Write about the earliest time you can recall feeling belittled. Allow yourself to express the pain, frustration, and sadness you felt. Then offer yourself compassion. Write a short letter to that younger version of you, describing how you wish you'd been protected and validated. This process is like tending to a neglected garden. At first, you may see only weeds and debris, but with consistent care, new blooms begin to appear, reminding you that healing is indeed possible. You might notice that as you begin this internal work, certain relationships in your life shift. Some people may respond to your growing self-awareness with support, while others might push back, unconsciously threatened by the changes in you. This is perfectly normal. Healing emotional wounds often illuminates what is no longer healthy in our external environment. If someone is unwilling to respect your new sense of worth, you'll find that you no longer have the desire to maintain the same dynamic. Remember, this healing journey isn't about blaming yourself or anyone else. It's about recognizing that the stories you've carried, the ones that told you you're not enough, were never the ultimate truth. They were reflections of someone else's limitations or unkindness, not of your actual value. When you're willing to confront the pain head-on, you create space to experience the joy of self-respect in real time. Give yourself permission to move through this gently. You've spent years, perhaps decades, carrying the weight of emotional scars. They won't vanish overnight. Yet each moment of honest self-reflection, each moment you offer yourself compassion, breaks another link in the chain that's been keeping you from standing tall. And that's the essence of healing, arriving at a place where you can say, with conviction, I deserve better, and I allow better into my life, starting now. Words hold enormous power, especially those we say to ourselves. When we repeat negative or critical statements, like I'm not good enough or nobody cares about me, we end up reinforcing those beliefs. It's as if our subconscious mind takes these statements as instructions, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy of lowered expectations and, sadly, lowered outcomes. The beauty of affirmations, however, lies in their ability to flip this script. Start with simple, heartfelt affirmations that resonate with you on a deep level. For example, I am worthy of respect, love, and kind treatment, or I am releasing all doubts about my inherent value. You can whisper these to yourself when you wake up, say them in front of the mirror, or even sing them quietly during your commute. The key is repetition. Just as you would water a plant daily, you need to nurture your mind with supportive words consistently. Now a common concern arises. But what if I don't believe these affirmations at first? That's perfectly okay. In fact, it's quite natural to feel resistance in the beginning, because it's challenging the old beliefs you've held on to for years. Think of it like starting an exercise routine. You might not be able to lift heavy weights right away, but with practice, your muscles grow stronger. Similarly, as you continue voicing supportive, loving statements, your mindset gradually transforms, and you begin to trust in your own goodness. One popular trend online is to combine affirmations with daily journaling. Each morning, write down 3 affirmations that speak to your current journey. For instance, I deserve healthy boundaries. I choose to see my unique gifts today. And I open my heart to compassionate connections. Throughout the day, reflect on how these statements influence your reactions and decisions. You may notice that you feel more confident speaking up, or that you're quicker to say no when faced with a situation that feels disrespectful. This doesn't mean that affirmations magically erase all negativity from your life. Challenges will still arise. However, affirmations shift your inner compass so that when difficulties occur, you navigate them with a healthier sense of self. Instead of spiraling into self-blame, you might catch yourself thinking, "I can handle this because I'm strong and I trust my decisions." Instead of settling for a disrespectful comment, you might calmly respond, "I deserve to be spoken to with kindness." Over time, these small changes accumulate, creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond your private internal world. You'll notice new opportunities, kinder relationships, and an improved sense of well-being. And if you ever doubt the process, remind yourself, every time you speak or think an affirmation, you're planting seeds for a flourishing future. The mind can be reprogrammed to align with truths that uplift and support you. Affirmations are simply the daily watering, the gentle sunlight, and the nurturing soil. So go ahead, repeat them, write them, live them, and watch your self-worth blossom in ways you never imagined possible. Boundaries aren't about shutting people out or building emotional walls. They're about honoring yourself enough to ensure that the way others treat you aligns with your core values and self-respect. Think of boundaries as the guidelines you set for how you wish to be treated, not because you want to isolate yourself, but because you recognize you're worthy of care, dignity, and understanding. When it comes to boundary setting, clarity is key. Sometimes people in your life may not even realize they're stepping over a line because you've never expressed your discomfort. So the first step is to get clear on what you will and won't tolerate. For example, if you have a friend who habitually cancels plans last minute, leaving you feeling unimportant, you could gently say, "I value our time together, and I feel disrespected when you cancel without notice. I'd appreciate it if you could let me know earlier or make a solid commitment." By stating your boundary kindly but firmly, you're giving the other person a chance to adjust. If they respect you, they'll try. If they continue the same pattern, you'll have to decide whether this is a dynamic you want to maintain. In moments like these, it helps to remind yourself that setting a boundary isn't selfish or mean. In fact, it's a form of self-care and emotional maturity. You're not demanding anything extreme. You're simply communicating how you wish to be treated. Boundaries allow relationships to flourish based on mutual respect. Without them, resentment builds up and conflicts become more frequent. So think of boundary setting as a way to protect the health of your connections, not as a tool to sever them. To maintain strong boundaries, keep an eye on your energy levels. Notice how your body reacts when certain people enter the room or when specific topics arise in conversation. If you feel tension in your shoulders, a pit in your stomach, or a sudden urge to escape, it might be a sign that your boundaries are being tested or violated. In these instances, acknowledge the feeling. Take a deep breath and remind yourself, "I have the right to honor my comfort and safety." Sometimes, simply affirming that right can empower you to speak up or take a step back. A lesser discussed aspect of boundaries is holding yourself accountable to respect other people's boundaries too. Healthy relationships are a two-way street. As you learn to value and protect your own sense of self, you also grow more compassionate and attentive to the needs of those around you. This mutual understanding lays the groundwork for deeper, more meaningful connections. Setting boundaries can feel awkward or intimidating at first. especially if you've spent a lifetime people-pleasing. But remember, each time you draw a line in the sand, you're affirming your worthiness. You're saying, "I deserve considerate treatment, and I'm willing to stand up for it." That simple act of self-respect is profoundly transformative, guiding others to treat you with the level of dignity you finally recognized you deserve. Our thoughts and emotions create a unique melody in our bodies. When we allow others to treat us poorly, or when we berate ourselves with harsh words, our bodies often respond with tension, fatigue, or even pain. This is why it's sometimes called the mind-body connection, because our mental and emotional states can show up in physical ways. If you've ever felt your heart race in an argument, or experienced a nagging headache when you're anxious, you already have a sense of this connection. So, what does this mean for reclaiming your worth? It means paying attention to your body as if it's your closest ally. When someone says something hurtful, notice the subtle shifts. Do your shoulders slump forward? Does your breathing become shallow? These are messages from your body, telling you that your inner being is feeling diminished. By tuning into these signals, you gain a powerful awareness that can guide you toward healthier interactions. One simple yet effective practice is conscious breathing. Before you respond to a hurtful remark or difficult situation, pause. Inhale slowly, letting your belly expand. Exhale fully, imagining any negativity draining away. This act of deliberate breathing allows you to reconnect with your inherent power. Instead of reacting impulsively, you respond from a calm, centered place that affirms your self-respect. Think of each breath as a tiny anchor, grounding you in your truth. Physical movement can also be a form of reclaiming your worth. Whether it's yoga, walking in nature, or gentle stretching, engaging your body reminds you that you have the right to occupy space in this world, boldly and unapologetically. Some people find that as they stretch or dance, they release pent-up emotions they've held on to for years. This release can feel cathartic, as if you're shedding layers of shame or self-doubt that never belonged to you in the first place. Furthermore, nourishing your body with healthy foods and adequate rest underscores the message that you value yourself. When you choose to eat foods that energize and heal, and when you make a habit of giving your body the rest it needs, you are actively practicing self-love. It sends a clear signal to your subconscious. I deserve to feel good. I deserve to be cared for. I am worthy of well-being. The beauty of a balanced mind-body relationship is that it becomes an ongoing dialogue. As you grow in self-love, you'll notice your body responding with greater ease and resilience. And as your body feels more at peace, your mind becomes more receptive to kind, affirming thoughts. It's a true symphony where each part supports the other in perfect harmony. Remember, you don't need anyone's permission to treat yourself well. Respect and cherish your body as the sacred vessel it is. Step by step, breath by breath, you'll find that treating yourself with care and compassion naturally extends into your interactions with others. Over time, you'll become so attuned to the beauty of this mind-body partnership that letting anyone treat you as less than you are simply becomes unthinkable. Forgiveness can be one of the most transformative acts in your journey of self-worth. Often, when people have treated us like we don't matter, the experience leaves a scar, an imprint of bitterness, resentment, or deep-seated anger. Holding on to this pain feels justified. After all, they hurt us, didn't they? and in some ways it can seem like holding a grudge keeps us safe. Yet in reality, clinging to resentment chains us to the very negativity we wish to escape. Forgiveness is not about letting anyone get away with mistreating you. It's about freeing your heart from the emotional shackles of the past. Think of it like releasing a heavy weight you've been carrying for too long. By setting it down, you liberate yourself to move forward with a lighter, more peaceful spirit. This process might be tender at first. You may find yourself oscillating between wanting to let go and feeling the need to hold on to the hurt. Understand that this is normal. Healing is rarely linear. It often unfolds in layers. A powerful exercise for forgiveness involves envisioning the person you wish to forgive standing in front of you in a safe, imaginary space. Visualize yourself saying, "I release you from the roles you played in my pain, and I reclaim my power by letting this go." You don't have to utter these words in the real world, especially if direct contact would be harmful or impossible. The purpose here is to shift your internal landscape. Sometimes writing a letter you never send can also help you find closure. Spill out every feeling, anger, sorrow, disappointment, and then declare your choice to forgive. Whether you burn the letter, tear it up, or store it in a journal, the main point is that you've expressed what needed to be said and made a conscious decision to move on. Forgiveness also extends to yourself. Perhaps you regret not standing up for your worth sooner, or you blame yourself for allowing certain people to remain in your life. Remind yourself that you did the best you could with the awareness and tools you had at the time. Be gentle with your past self. By offering yourself the same compassion you wish to receive from others, you accelerate the healing process. As you continue with forgiveness work, you might notice you feel more empowered. Situations that once triggered anger or humiliation may now elicit calm or indifference. This shift isn't a sign of weakness or complacency. It's evidence of your growth. You've taken the high road of healing, refusing to let old stories dictate your present or future. And in that choice, you've cultivated a shield of self-worth, one that naturally repels those who would treat you as anything less than you are. Forgiveness is ultimately a journey back to your own heart. When you release resentments, you create more space within yourself to experience love, hope, and resilience. And with each layer of pain that you let go, you stand taller in the knowledge of your intrinsic value. No one can take that from you, and that's the real gift of self-liberation. There's a sacred space within you that no one else can touch. A calm refuge that remains steady even when the world outside feels turbulent. By learning to nurture this inner sanctuary, you make it far less likely that anyone can treat you like you're nothing. This space is built through practices of mindfulness, self-reflection, and above all, self-compassion. Once you've experienced the strength of this inner refuge, you'll find it easier to maintain healthy boundaries and keep negativity at bay. Creating an inner sanctuary starts with intentional moments of stillness. This could be a short meditation where you focus on your breath, or a gentle walk in nature where you immerse yourself in the present moment. In these pauses, remind yourself, I am safe, I am grounded, I am worthy. By consistently affirming your value during these quiet interludes, you strengthen your sense of self, making it harder for external chaos to rattle you. Consider also crafting a mental image of your sanctuary. Perhaps it's a cozy cabin by a lake, a peaceful clearing in a forest, or even a light-filled room inside your heart. Whenever stress or harsh treatment from others weighs you down, close your eyes and envision stepping into this space. Notice every detail, sights, sounds, scents, letting the calm wash over you. Over time, this visualization becomes a reliable tool for emotional regulation. Instead of reacting with panic or self-doubt, you learn to respond from a foundation of composure and inner strength. Another essential aspect is surrounding yourself, physically and mentally, with reminders of your worth. This could mean curating an environment that soothes your spirit, soft lighting, calming music, or meaningful objects that uplift your mood. It could also mean being mindful of what you consume mentally. Notice the TV shows, social media feeds, or conversations that drain your self-esteem versus those that elevate it. Once you're aware, choose to engage with sources of information and entertainment that support your journey toward greater self-love. Above all, keep a close watch on your self-talk. If you catch yourself thinking, "I deserve this disrespect," or "I'm not strong enough to leave this situation," pause. Correct that inner narrative with a compassionate yet firm response. "I do not deserve to be diminished. I have the power to choose better for myself now." Each time you confront these old stories, you weaken their hold over you and reinforce the peace of your inner sanctuary. This sanctuary is more than a hiding place. It's your seat of power. When you dwell there, even momentarily, you connect to the wellspring of confidence and love that has always been within you. And from that place, you can face challenges, set boundaries, and make decisions that honor your worth. Think of your inner sanctuary as the home for your self-respect. The more time you spend cultivating and protecting it, the less tempted you'll be to open the door to those who undervalue you. After all, once you've known real peace within, nothing less will ever feel acceptable again. When you stand confidently in your worth, something remarkable begins to happen. You naturally attract more kindness, respect, and genuine love into your life. Some call this phenomenon a shift in vibration or energy frequency. In simpler terms, people sense when you value yourself. They recognize that you won't settle for being treated poorly, and this becomes a magnet for those who are ready to offer the quality of connection you desire. However, attracting more love isn't just about how others respond to you. It's equally about how you respond to yourself. One powerful practice is gratitude. Each night, list a few things you're thankful for. Moments of joy, supportive friends, a comfortable home, your own perseverance. As you do this, you train your mind to look for the good in and around you. This shift in focus helps you realize just how much abundance already surrounds you. When you feel abundant, you're less inclined to tolerate relationships or situations that deplete you, because you recognize that your life is already rich in many ways. This concept also ties in beautifully with manifestation techniques that have been trending lately. Whether you call it the law of attraction or simply positive living, the essence is the same. The energy you radiate tends to return to you in some form. If you walk through life with the belief, "I am worthy, and I welcome healthy love," you'll be more open to noticing and accepting opportunities that align with that belief. You might find yourself meeting people who uplift your spirits, stumbling upon new job offers that value your input, or even rediscovering lost passions that light up your soul. As you cultivate this inner abundance, it's also vital to practice discernment. Not everyone in your orbit will celebrate your newfound confidence. Some may feel threatened by it, especially if they benefited from your prior willingness to accept less than you deserved. In these cases, remember your boundaries and your commitment to honor your self-worth. Letting go of relationships that drain or diminish you is not an act of cruelty. It's an act of wisdom. You're making space for the people and experiences that truly resonate with your growing sense of love for yourself. Throughout this process, keep infusing your life with affirmations that highlight abundance and respect. Statements like, "I am surrounded by supportive, caring relationships," or "My life overflows with mutual respect and understanding," can be potent reminders of the reality you wish to create. Speak them out loud, write them in your journal, or record them on your phone, and listen to them during walks. Whatever feels most natural and uplifting to you. You're stepping into a new dimension of living, one that is grounded in the truth of your intrinsic worth and actively nourishes it every day. As you continue to embrace an abundance of love, watch how your life evolves. You'll stand more firmly in your value, seek out healthier connections, and radiate a presence that others find comforting and inspirational. And perhaps most importantly, you'll feel an inner richness that no external circumstance or opinion can ever take away. You've journeyed through the layers of your being, exploring how self-perception, healing old wounds, affirmations, and boundaries all converge to form a life where you're no longer treated like you're nothing. This transformative path is about more than simply demanding respect from others. It's about recognizing the vast reserves of courage and love that dwell within you, and extending that compassionate understanding to your own heart first. When you stand in the radiant truth of your worth, you become unshakable. Let's take a moment to recall the core points we've covered. You began by acknowledging that, all too often, you've tolerated being treated as though you have little value. Through diving into the hidden power of self-perception, you discovered that the stories you tell yourself shape not only how you feel, but also how the world responds to you. You learned that healing emotional wounds opens you to a more nurturing reality, and that affirmations can reprogram your mind to lean toward positivity and self-belief. We explored the art of setting boundaries, a loving shield that safeguards your heart, and saw how the mind-body connection underscores every step you take, gently reminding you to move with self-awareness and grace. Forgiveness emerged as a powerful tool for releasing the chains of the past. By letting go of grudges and regrets, you free your heart to embrace a brighter future. You cultivated an inner sanctuary, a safe haven within, that remains stable regardless of external turbulence. And you began to embrace an abundance of love, shifting your energy so that you naturally call healthier, more respectful experiences into your life. Now, standing at the threshold of this journey, I invite you to anchor your transformation with a final affirmation, spoken with unwavering conviction. I am precious, I am strong, and I choose to walk forward in the fullness of my worth. Let these words resonate through every cell of your being, reinforcing that this is not merely a collection of ideas, but a lived reality that you can choose moment by moment. Remember, this path is ongoing. There might be days when you slip into old patterns or find it challenging to speak up for yourself. That's normal. Offer yourself compassion in these moments and gently guide yourself back to the truths you've uncovered here. Each time you affirm your value, each time you set a loving boundary, you strengthen the foundation of a life built on respect and self-love. No matter what anyone says or does, never forget, you are worthy. You came into this world with an intrinsic value that no external force can diminish. Embrace that reality, nurture it with kind words and mindful actions, and watch as the universe mirrors back the reverence you hold for yourself. May this be your declaration today and every day as you continue to rise, shining forth the brilliance of a heart that knows exactly how priceless it truly is.